In the United States, there are over 500,000 people experiencing homelessness. According to an annual nationwide survey, homelessness in the country rose for the fourth straight year, with about 580,000 people living on the streets or in temporary shelter at the start of 2020. Today, more New Yorkers are experiencing homelessness than ever before. In a city of more than 8.3 million people, nearly 1 in every 106 New Yorkers is homeless. According to an annual count from the Housing and Homeless Coalition of Central New York, the number of homeless people in Syracuse has risen in recent years from 461 in 2016 to 613 in 2020. The numbers include Onondaga, Cayuga, and Oswego counties. There are over 50 institutions in Onondaga County that provide shelter and support for its homeless population.
I'm a tenured faculty member at the State University of New York. Half of my job basically is working with homeless population, and the other half is I have a contractual relationship with the hospital to provide drug safety, educational programs, oversight of other aspects of drug delivery in the hospital, trying to troubleshoot, et cetera, working on patient safety issues, teaching. And so that is the other. I've been doing that for since 1995. So my clinical aspects had been as hospital medicine, and I transferred and stopped doing that and doing HouseCalls for the homeless. Because that's the program's name. It's called HouseCalls for the homeless. What I found was that if you meet them in their own environment, and they are overwhelmingly appreciative. You know, I had a young man who, one of my first patients, who basically was stigmatized because he had a skin condition that, he had recurrent infections of his skin, but he wasn't a heroin abuser or any other type of, but when you have the skin condition and infection and you're on the street, you'll get stigmatized as a drug abuser. And so he was very, he just didn't feel like he was being treated well, and it was pretty obvious the initial encounter. So I got him into the van and basically just cleaned him up, cleaned up his butt where his skin infection was, and got it clean and dry, and gave him some fresh underwear and other things. And he just began crying and he fell in my arms. So it was basically, it's just about dignity. So showing somebody that they have worth is just, you take that to the bank.
Bagels? Soft rolls? Soft rolls. Alrighty, there you go, bud.
I started in the food pantry on actually March 19th of 2020. So since that time, I've been here 5 days a week, morning, afternoon, evening, and I just feel like I need to be here to help the people on the north side. You don't realize how poor the neighborhood is until you're down here.
Significant minority of people that would be coming into the hospital through the emergency department would be people that have returned visits to the emergency department for various conditions, skin abscesses, skin infections, untreated high blood pressure, things that, and then they would get admitted to the hospital, or they would be seen in the emergency department, sent home with a prescription or instructions to follow up with a doctor.
Okay, may I speak to Donna Fanning, please? This is Sister James from the Poverello Clinic. Yes, I need to speak to her personally. Thank you. Poverello Clinic was actually birthed out of the Northside Ministries, which started in 1998 with Sister Dolly and Father Justin Biazzi and Father Timothy Mulligan. And the two things that came out that were major problems were health care and legal aid.
They live in the immediate area. We're all zoned by street address, so if they live within our area, we can serve them here with food for their entire family.
They don't have a doctor, they're homeless, so they don't have any of that type of continuity or social infrastructure to help them. And so they would not get the prescription filled, or they wouldn't go to the doctor, and so that then they would just get worse from the condition that they saw originally in the emergency department. And the next time or so they would have a bad enough condition they'd get admitted to the hospital. I would see them there.
Primarily, the Poverello Clinic offers medical services, so we do appointments for physicals that people need for their work, because without the physical they can't get the job. So that's a big thing here at pre-employment physicals. We also do physicals at times for children who come into the area with no insurance, and they don't have the insurance in this county anyway, so they have their physicals done for school or sports. We also do pretty much, we're kind of like a primary care office, but we're not supposed to be primary care for them, but a lot of them stay with us because they can't get insurance due to either not working or working in a job that's only like 2 or 3 days a week and it doesn't offer insurance. So we see a lot of diabetics here and do a lot of diabetic treatments and care. We also see people with anything like hypertension or colds or wound infections, people who just need refills for their medications that are under our care. Also follow-up visits are done here for the different doctors. We do have some specialties such as endocrinology, podiatry, cardiology, ophthalmology, so they come in maybe for those type of appointments. And we see anyone anywhere from 18 years of age to 65. And we do have people here that tries to sign people up for insurance like Medicaid or Medicare each Wednesday evening.
We try to average 100 soups per day, but sometimes, we have some left over for the evening shift, and sometimes it depends upon what the weather is. If the weather is rainy, the number of people that come to our soup kitchen will be down. If it's a really nice day, we'll be extremely busy, and we might serve 200 sandwiches.
We see a wide variety of Vietnamese, Hispanic, white, black nationalities of all kinds. We do see people who are not here, not documented rather, but we don't ask any questions. We're here to take care of their health.
Clock is ticking with this population because of national surveys, as well as what we experience here in Syracuse is right at about almost 2.5 years after you initially encounter a person who's on the streets, 50% will be dead after that 2.5 year period. And the average lifespan is around 49.5 years of people that live on the street.